What's up, y'all? And welcome back to the Worship Podcast. Listen, we are about to cover the Daniel Muir child abuse case. Yes, that's right. Now, this case has been relaunched here, okay, and they're currently going into pre-trial. We're going to go over some of the old and past information just for you all who may not have heard of it, who aren't privy of this particular case or the details in this case. Okay, and also we're going to review some of the most current information that was just put out right here right now, all on a War Sheep podcast. Let's get it.
The sheep preaching hate, he says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore. If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf the violent one? He wasn't teaching hate, he was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop him. Do whatever you have to do to stop him. You know, the ones that were knocking him over the head were afraid of the fact that he might swing back. So they said, no, he's teaching hate, he's violent.
We're going to go ahead and get this thing rocking and rolling, y'all. Give me a sec. Let me go ahead and pull this thing up. And my thing is this: I've been very interested in this case. Whenever I first learned about it, whenever this case broke, I thought this was crazy because knowing Daniel Muir or meeting him, it didn't really seem like he would be the type to be abusive toward his own children. You understand what I'm saying? In this way, and it's a huge surprise to me, right? It's a huge shocking surprise to me. But we're going to be covering this case. We're going to be covering a lot of details within this case, and we're going to be sure that we address the real issues when it comes to it. Okay. And one of the biggest things that I really want to keep in mind here is that Daniel Muir, okay, is an ex NFL a player. You understand? He played for the Indianapolis Colts. I think he played a bit for the Texans. He played for the Baltimore Ravens. He's went to different teams in the league in the NFL. So of course he's accomplished a lot when it comes to his career in the NFL. And after the NFL, maybe it was a sense of camaraderie or team like environment that he was missing out on. Maybe Christianity just wasn't providing that enough to him. So once he learned more about the Hebrew walk, it really did encourage him, right? Because not only does he had desires, I believe, to be a pastor, and yes, I believe that he has a gift of being able to speak and preach the word. I think that there is a gift there. I believe that since even first meeting him and doing deliverance at his home in Indiana, it was something that was already kind of like a thing, not only for himself, but a calling on my life as well. You know what I'm saying? Because we both were there to perform deliverance at the same time. And, it was a lot going on in that moment with us all being pretty much new to the faith, you know. So, just knowing his persona and the way that he carries himself, the way that he speaks, the level of conviction he commands when he speaks that word. I would definitely say that he has a gift in being able to preach and teach the word. Hearing about this situation and the amount of time that he can possibly face is kind of daunting because I don't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy to have to face years in prison. You know what I mean? Things like that. I just wouldn't, especially for him. I wouldn't say that that's what I would want for his life. I wouldn't say that I could predict that he would have to face this in his life. I wouldn't be able to predict this. This is something that's totally left field for me to hear that he has done to his own child. But we're going to listen in as to what the details are, and we're going to come back with some of the, we're going to give commentary in between, but we're going to listen into some of the details and what they are. So let's go ahead and hear about go into more of a deep dive as to what took place. And we're going to introduce some of the recent information, y'all. All right, let's get it.
Can you imagine being a grandmother or a grandfather and seeing that your grandbaby arrives to visit you and they're totally beat up by a grown man, by your own son, by your own daughter. That's what happened in one of Straitway's compounds. Check this out.
I have my grandson who's badly abused by his parents. I mean, he's 14.
Okay.
He's being abused.
We really started looking at this as an endangered missing person.
His grandmother took a picture of Bryson with a black eye, and when Bryson's mother came to pick him up, she called 911 after she said there was a confrontation between her and her daughter, Bryson's mother. Kristen then took off in a white 2015.
Now, let me say this, y'all. And I know that we're 49 seconds in, my apologies. But, you know, this brings me back to my own personal childhood. I believe that my father was just getting out of prison and we came to Michigan.
Her and her daughter, Bryson's mother. Kristen then took off in a white 2015 Chevy Suburban from the grandmother's Garfield Heights home. Minutes later, Garfield Heights police pulled over Kristen in that Suburban, but no Bryson.
In that period of time, Bryson wasn't to be found. We don't know where he went.
Bryson's father, Daniel Muir, played 7 seasons in the NFL.
So, you know, based on some of the evidence or some of the information that was found, the police officers who pulled them over were actually looking for a young lady, like a young girl. But I believe Bryson may have been in the car, but those deputies or those officers got wrong information, or they misunderstood the information, and they started to search for a young girl and not a young boy. Let's continue. I believe that's what the mix-up was.
As a defensive lineman, playing college football at Kent State University. He now appears to be a pastor at a religious group called Straitway Truth Ministry.
The anatomy of a cult leader. How does this happen, right? How did this man become into what he's become into? Well, he learned what he knows from that man right there, R.G. Stair. Amazing. The authorities had to get involved in R.G. Stair's ministry.
New tonight, a woman who said...
Now, so in regards to R.G. Stair started Straitway. R.G. Stair is the one who funded Dowell, bought the land, and put Straitway Truth Ministries on the map. This is the man who had a heavy hand into what you see now, into the Dowell that you see now. And allegedly, he was actually ordained to be a bishop and not a pastor in the beginning. But facts are facts and truth is truth. R.G. Stair is the one who purchased the land and put Dowell on that land with other individuals to start a homestead or start a community. Let's continue.
She was victimized at a Walterboro church once her voice heard. Pastor Ralph Stair, charged and convicted of various sex crimes, died over the past weekend. News 2's Katie Turner spoke with a woman who says she was abused by Stair, and she says she wants her words to be the last words about him.
For 7 years, Yates lived on a compound in Walterboro with dozens more of Stair's followers called the Overcomer Ministry. She says it was a trap she fell into at a vulnerable time in her life.
Because I was sex trapped at 17. And then I jumped into the ministry because I wanted to give my life to God. And then I jumped into a cult unknowingly and couldn't leave for 7 years.
The dark and twisted stories of Stair's religious leadership first came to light in 2002 when 2 young women came forward accusing him of sexual assault. He was arrested, convicted, and spent 77 days behind bars.
And we're now seeing that the authorities are getting involved in Straitway as well. Now, what these cult leaders will typically do is they'll simply blame the devil. It's always the blame game. But is it the devil? Or is it them that are refusing to submit to Christ, resisting the devil, and allowing the devil to flee? Something's going on at Straitway, and it's pretty dark. You know, Ringo TV Reactions, he first broke the news. So I definitely want to make sure I give credit to Ringo and shout out to Ringo. I'm happy that you moved. I'm happy that your family is doing well. Very proud of you, man. Very proud of you on that. Ringo released a video. And on that video, it was talking about some of the latest updates involving Straitway and the alleged events that occurred. And according to this news article here, the beating that they put on the kid was so strong and intense that they actually are heard in a recording through police statements where the reason they beat up the kid this bad is because they're living in America. And if they were living in a foreign land where they can actually obey the scriptures, as Pastor Dowell feels that he has to obey the scriptures, that the kid would be dead. That the kid wouldn't even be here anymore. That they would.
So pause. What could a child do that is this bad? That is that? I guess. What could he do to deserve a grown ass man to put their hands on him the way that he did? You understand what I'm saying? There's nothing that a child could do that'll make me want to physically do that to him. You understand what I mean? Beat him this badly to where his eye is completely black, his face and head is completely swollen, and his lips is swollen. Everything is swelled up. Somebody who has anger problems, anger issues, and loses self-control and goes into fits of rage. That is the type of individual that would do something like that to a child. Somebody who may be on some sort of testosterone or something like that and goes into that roid rage. This is what you'll see. And a lot of times it may be worse. But shout out to TGM Ministries for bringing this video that we can be able to review and recap. Shout out to this brother. Let's continue.
Would put him to death. But because they're living in America, they can't do that. So that's why this grown football player decided to beat on his kid like he beat on his kid.
With a black eye and swollen face. Court records say investigators also have a
TFG Ministries. Shout out to TFG Ministries. Let's go.
Recorded phone conversation between Daniel and a family member where Daniel admits, "I whooped his blank like a grown blank man."
Wow.
Daniel says he punished his son for inappropriate behavior and that if they lived in their religious homeland, the boy would be put to death for his act.
Now, I don't know if you guys ever met Daniel Muir, but this is a 6'3", 6'4", anywhere between 6'2" and 6'4" foot man that is like, I say 280 pounds, close to 300 pounds, mostly muscle. You know what I mean? Mixture of muscle and fat, mostly muscle. This is a big guy. You understand what I'm saying? This is a big guy, big dude. You understand what I mean? Against a child, against a minor. You understand? Like, it can be $150, maybe weighing $150. Not even that. Weighing 120 pounds, maybe. 120 pounds. 100 to 120 pounds. I believe he was about 16 years old. Whooping his ass. I whooped his ass like a grown ass man. That's crazy to say. And I would never think that this man, Daniel Muir, would be the type of brother to do something like that to a child, let alone his own child. You know what I mean? Like, never thought in a million years that he'd be sitting in the position that he's in currently. But it's just daunting. This is a real, true shit bag. You understand what I'm saying? You can't believe everything that you get and say you have to really judge people by their fruit, right? Well, if we're judging him by his fruit, this fruit, I whooped his ass like a grown ass man. Well, there's nothing that you can say or do that'll justify you doing that to a minor, a child, somebody who also has been said to be on the spectrum, right? Of autism. Okay, on the spectrum. I know that he has one of his sons who is on the spectrum, who I've met. But this particular son, he seemed to be very normal in his bodily functions, in his mental state. As far as him having autism and being on a spectrum of autism, if he is, then he's extremely cognitive for somebody who's on this spectrum, after meeting him. You know what I mean? But he does have a son who's definitely on the spectrum, and I believe that son is a bit younger. Okay, so I would like to know exactly if he is or not. You know what I mean? So, but for him to do this, man, it's crazy. It's crazy work. Just, man, I feel bad for the children. Let's continue.
acts. But they can't do that in the United States. The boy would be put to death for his acts. But they can't do that in the United States.
Now that's also wild, right? Because of course he wouldn't be. If we were to go based on how these people's mindsets are in Straightway, we would say that they are definitely modern day scribes and Pharisees. These are wicked, evil, and deceptive people. You understand what I'm saying? What do you mean that the boy will be put to death for these acts? When Jesus or Yahshua saw that they're about to stone the woman for committing adultery, what did he tell them? Stone her? Did he tell them, give them a right of way to say, yeah, she committed adultery? Get rid of her. I thought that when Yahshua, Jesus, when he passed away, when he died, he nailed the law of sin and death to the tree with him, along with him. So for you to say this is saying it is antichrist. This is antichrist speech, because the Messiah would not condone the murder of a child based on what you believe he did wrong. He wouldn't condone that. You understand what I'm saying? He would say, let ye who is without sin cast that first stone. You understand what I mean? And Daniel, if you are without sin, then then hey, I guess you were free to cast that stone. I guess you're free to put your hands, lay hands on that young man, on your own son. You know what I mean? A minor. Because you feel as though that you are sinless. You are without sin. So the proverbial stones that you casted at this young boy, do you believe that you're going to have to face not only the repercussions coming from the state, but also the repercussions coming from the Most High Yah? You understand what I'm saying? After Yahshua gave his life, he gave his only begotten son to nail the law of sin and death to the tree. And you still say that if we were back in our own land, that this young boy would be stoned to death, put to death for his actions. That is an absolute lie that comes from Satan himself. You understand what I'm saying? Because Yahshua took that with him. Jesus took that with him. That's what he sacrificed himself for. What happened to repentance?
For more than 2 weeks, the Muirs would not cooperate with the Department of Child Services investigation, leading to a silver alert and the eventual raid. Police say the boy was found safe and well, along with other Muir children. But 2 boys told investigators they had been whooped by their parents, one even getting a bloody nose from their punishment. Daniel is charged with domestic battery, a misdemeanor. Both parents are charged with obstruction of justice.
Galatians 1:8, it warns.
Now, the level of abuse of the children that I'm hearing about, not only with Muir's camp, Goshen, but also with Corey, Pastor Corey, and how they were beating a child for 30 days, right? 3 or 4 separate people daily beat this child 3 times a day for 30 days straight. And now we're hearing, of course, this is what's come out about Muir in his camp over here at Goshen, and how he's abusing his children. You know, and I understand. Don't get me wrong. You spare the rod, you spoil the child. You understand what I'm saying? But there is nothing that calls for you to put your hands on a child physically, right? To a point to where you're drawing blood, and to the point where back and face is black and blue and swollen head and all this other stuff, right? Beating a child's ass like he was a grown man. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that calls for that. There's nothing that warrants you to be able to do that to a child, or on any level. You know what I mean? Under any circumstances, is this okay? And so some of the other children are also saying that they've been punished so harshly that their nose would bleed. You know what I mean? So these are things that are extremely alarming, right? And that could be going on within this ministry on a high level. Not only that, but some of the sex trafficking, selling of women, whatever it may be, is also something that they claim is culturally done. Well, a lot of these men who sell the women aren't their fathers. So it's not something that they should be doing. They shouldn't justify the selling of another woman that is not their father. I don't care if you say it's your spiritual daughter, it just ain't, so you cannot reap the benefits of a diary for a woman that you did not give birth to. That is not your seed. So these are some of the things that have been coming up lately, right? The abuse of children, of minor children, and also the selling of women. Allegedly, it could be linked to sex trafficking. You understand what I'm saying? Just based on the details. But let's continue.
It tells us that even if an angel comes down from heaven and preaches unto you another gospel, don't believe it. You see, many of these cult leaders, like this man and this man, they're able to get away with it because they brainwash you. People forget that Satan comes as an angel of light. Satan's not going to come at you with a pitchfork as the American devil was always designed. No. This is why the scriptures tell you that you have to be a Berean and compare everything to the word of God. But the people at Straitway are brainwashed. They're completely brainwashed. I want you to listen to this audio here of this gentleman that's at Straitway. You see, because another thing that Straitway is doing is they're realizing that a lot of people like Ringo TV Reactions and others, they're talking about them a lot. So what they're doing, because of the algorithm and how it works, they're now making videos saying Straitway exposed to take over the algorithm so that you click on it and it's actually a promotion for Straitway.
Exactly.
That's biblical, isn't it? That's manipulation. That's witchcraft. But that's how they operate, because they want you to click on it and then it's an ad for their ministry. Listen to this ad. And
now, before we listen to that ad, I want to go ahead and introduce you guys to my line, to my brand. Of course, shout out to a lot of people who've been making a lot of orders and purchases, man. I really appreciate you all. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate everything that you do to support the channel and helping the podcast grow. Now, this is called, of course, Yahshua or Jesus is King. This is the shirt here. And of course, the Righteous Alpha Man shirt. You understand what I'm saying? These are all things that are promoting positivity, not only in faith-based clothing, faith-based everything, just promoting not only the Most High, but also letting them know what you stand for, letting them know who you are. This is what this represents. And if you're somebody who really enjoys to represent and put on for the kingdom, you're going to go ahead and put on, and you're going to go ahead and get your merch today, right now at warsheep.shop. That is warsheep.shop. Go check them out. Shout out to the people who's already been making purchases, man. I really appreciate you guys helping out, supporting the channel. I really hope you guys enjoy your merch. When you get an opportunity, please send in a video. Send in a video. Show me what you guys purchase. I know a lot of people are really enjoying the no days off shirts and hoodies out there, as well as the Jesus is King, which was one of the ones that ranked really high when I did a poll in my community, or in my post or community section. Jesus is King ranked really high, and people have been really enjoying the design and purchasing not only the hoodies, but the crew neck sweaters and the shirts and things like that. So, of course, we got the women's style clothing as well. So just, guys, take your moments, take a moment to go check us out and go ahead and get your merch today. Passover's coming up, so we got Passover as well. Let's get it, y'all. Let's get back to this video.
This is not ridiculous.
I wanted to talk about what you probably haven't heard. From the aspect of us being given $50 a month per person, it may not seem like a lot, but I have a whole list here of the things that we don't have to pay for out of that $50 a month. We have access to Netflix, Amazon, Apple TV, HBO Max. Don't have to pay for any of those subscriptions. I can go down in the theater anytime that I want and watch whatever shows that I want. We have an Xbox. I can go play games whenever I want to. We have a gym in the house that I don't have to pay for. I don't have a membership to go and work out. I can work out anytime that I want. We also have a gymnasium. I can play basketball. I can run around the gym. We have a pool. We have a hot tub. Those are the things I don't have to pay for.
He has individuals in this ministry that they pay $50 a month allowance. A family man that gives all of his income to the ministry gets $50 monthly allowance. That's it. But they get $300 for alcohol a week.
Alcohol. We have a $300 a week budget for alcohol. The video got cut off, sorry.
Let's think about this for a second, y'all. $300 budget a week for alcohol, just for liquor alone, and he only gets $50 a month. Honestly, $300 a week, that's $1,200 a month. Even if you were to go mid-level alcohol, right? Let's say that you wanted to buy something for $60, or Woodford Reserve Double Oak, I believe, is around $60, $65. You can buy at least 2 to 3 bottles a week of that stuff. Even if you want to go with a nice tequila, even though it tastes good, let's say that you wanted to go for a nice tequila at around $20, $25. You can buy at least 10 bottles a week. You understand what I'm saying? With that $300, just with $200, you can buy 10 bottles a week. You understand what I'm saying? You got to understand the magnitude of this, right? Who needs $1,200 a month for liquor alone? You can really scale that back. Do $500 a month for liquor, and then give the rest to the families, right? Disperse it amongst the individuals within, right? And find other ways to cut back to where people have more money in their pocket. But $1,200 a month is absurd, y'all. I don't care what it is. $1,200 a month on liquor is crazy when you only getting $50 a month for your family. And I understand, everything's paid for. Well, what if you just want to go out and buy yourself something nice? You want to treat your wife out to something, a night out or date night or whatever it may be. $50 just ain't going to cut it a lot of times. You understand what I'm saying? It's like you need more than that. You feel me? You need more than that on day to day. If you want to go out and enjoy life, so you want to go on a trip, you want to go to Bali, you want to go in, see some of the sights, take your family to go on vacations. $50 ain't going to cut it a month. You know how long it's going to take you to save up $1,000 with only $50 a month? It's crazy. You can cut back on that $1,200 a month liquor bill, and you can go ahead and disperse that amongst the people. Disperse it amongst the people so they have a little bit more money in their pocket. Let's continue, y'all. Let's continue.
So I was saying we have a $300 a week budget for alcohol. So, but with that, we're only allowed to drink 4 days out of the week. We're oppressed, aren't we?
You do the math. You do the math.
You accuse me like you did Jesus. I'm a wine bibber.
Drinking on public videos.
Look at him, Frank.
Yo, shout out to Caesar, man.
I went over that too. This is called, what beer is this one? Is this gross? You accuse me like you did Jesus. I'm a wine bibber.
Something is wrong here.
In this case,
Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway.
Charles, thank you very much.
Dead giveaway.
Beer bibber.
Hallelujah. Nice.
We go over to the lawn too. Got some nice little strong drinks over here too. Let's take the edge off of it.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Man, what's wrong with that breath? I can smell it over here. Reggie, your breath is so stink, people look forward to your fart.
Of the people that donate to his ministry. Does it make sense to you for them to give a person $50 monthly allowance, but $300 a week for you to stay drunk?
So I was saying we have a $300 a week budget for alcohol. So, but with that, we're only allowed to drink 4 days out of the week. We're oppressed, aren't we?
Yo, shout out to Caesar, man.
You heard him laughing. I ain't nothing but a buster.
We're oppressed, aren't we?
Jordan's a buster. Jordan Salami, the buster over here, man. Ain't got no mind for him on his own. Can't think for himself. It's crazy. Let's continue.
You tell me. You tell me. And then the gentleman starts boasting about some of the benefits of living in the compound. You get free Netflix. You get Cinemax. You get to go to the pool. You get to work out at the gym.
Wow.
Newsflash, my friend. You get all of that in an apartment complex here in Florida. In Florida, when you live in an apartment complex, you have a guest house. You can go there and watch TV. You can watch Netflix. You can watch Cinemax. You can go swim in the community pool. You can go to the gym at the apartment complex. People are so brainwashed to a point that they're willing to submit to these ministries for free Netflix and Cinemax and a gym and a pool. I don't know about you, but there's something diabolical happening at Straightway Ministry, and what you're seeing that happened to RG.
Now, just to kind of, even in that, right, you still got to pay rent. It's going to be somewhere up to $1,500 to $2,500 a month, even though they do have those amenities at the apartment complex. They don't have to, or they are actually paying upwards to their whole paycheck per month. You understand what I'm saying? So they're spending way more than they would at that apartment in that complex. You understand what I'm saying? So to be living there, right, and have all these things paid for and only receive $50 a month, okay, is crazy, because they're spending more money, right, in the long run than if they were having their own mortgage, their own house, or going to get their own land, their own property, right? I mean, if the primary goal for this whole situation is that, getting land and acquiring land, right, or putting assets in their name, if that was the goal, to be able to build up individual families, households, then I think that'll be very effective. But for $50 a month to be your per diem, to be what you can get, is crazy, y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's continue.
Stare, you're seeing the downfall of Pastor Dowell, and he's not the only one. You're going to see this happening all over America as the times continue to happen. But it is because of the people. In the Old Testament times, this is a Bible verse that talks about how people would say, prophesy not unto us the hard things. They wanted to hear the smooth things. That's what Christianity has become. That's what a lot of Israelite camps have become. They want to hear their own thing. They want to cherry pick the Bible and pick their own thing. But we're not in those types of times, my friend. We're in times that you have to pick the true thing, which is Jesus Christ. And you have to honor his commandments. You have to honor his instructions. You have to follow him every single day. Because these seducing spirits and doctrines of devil, they're diabolical. A few months back, we talked about the Virgin Auction Block. Remember that? The Virgin Auction Block, where Pastor Dowell got up there and started selling these females. He literally said, when you buy one of these, they're ready to go right out of the package.
That's what it's all about. This land Guns commands and butter, a price. Baby. So that's the reason why
you little dumb motherfuckers.
This land commands a price. So that's the reason why this land commands a price.
But then he says some things that really bother me. Because as he's shown the women there on the front, like a virgin auction block, can you cook, can you clean? All the men are clapping. They're hungry. They're like, yeah, let's clap, whatever Pastor Dowell says. And then he says, this commands a price. Then he says some things that really alerted me. You getting ready to buy value. You're getting ready to buy someone who already right out of the package is ready for marriage. What?
It's just that the Torah commands and demands a price and all that.
Now, I want to know which one of these sisters has already been married off. And I want to know which one of them has been married off by Dowell, if not all of them. I believe that the sister in the middle with the light blue shirt, she has been given to Brother Lee over at Goshen. I believe, I could be wrong about that. But what was the diary? What did they pay? You understand? After this situation, these are women who are standing up here as virgin women who are ready for marriage. You understand what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. I do support the fact that you want to protect their virginity, protect their innocence, protect them, and give them over to righteous men, right? Who will marry them and treat them like prizes or gems, or special. You get what I'm saying? I like rubies, because like if a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing, right? And the wife is valued above rubies, is what the book says, right? I understand that, and you should want to protect them. You should want to promote them to want to keep and save themselves for marriage. I don't disagree with any of those things, but to line them up and parade them about and telling them that their land is fertile and that they're ripe and ready for to be, and they commanded a high price. These are things that are really giving off those vibes, right? That they're being sold on the auction block. That's what's giving it. You're not just praising them for their virginity, right? For keeping it and maintaining it. And not only that, being able for this ministry to be able to produce virgin women and being able to be sure that they maintain that, right? You're not just giving them their accolades or giving them their flowers for this, right? But you're also presenting them as merchandise by your verbiage, what you're saying, the pointing stick that you have in your hand while you're pointing at them, saying that this is fertile land, this is land that's ready for purchase, ready to be bought, is really given an auction block. It's really given that you selling these young women. You understand what I'm saying? That is trafficking. But alleged, right? Allegedly, this is what the vibes are. You understand what I'm saying? And I believe, if we had more thorough investigations, the young lady in the blue shirt, I've seen her. She's been used as a young lady who was a massaging pastor. I don't know what for, because he didn't really do a whole lot to be getting in this massage that he was getting over at Kabir's house. But I was there, witnessed her massaging him and on multiple occasions, massaging him, massaging his arms, massaging the shoulders, things like that. It was just odd. That's odd behavior to me. I just figured that maybe he was courting her or thinking to bringing her on as another wife or something like that. And it's the reason why he's allowing her to do it. I believe this is Brother Freeman's young daughter that has been sold to Brother Lee over in Goshen. So yeah, those are some of the things that I saw with this young lady, and yeah, it's weird vibes, yo. It's weird vibes all around. I found it to be kind of weird when I was sitting there witnessing it happen. It was kind of a little uneasy. It was like, okay, well, it's a little weird. Why not just get Mother Carol? You know what I'm saying? Like, to massage you, to rub you down. Why not just get one of your other wives, you know what I mean, to rub you down, massage you? But yeah, this young lady's already been sold off to Brother Lee over in Goshen, Straightway Goshen. And I'm curious to what the reputation here, or what they typically would do with a lot of these young virgin women. That would be a deep dive right there. Let's continue though, y'all. Let's continue.
Value to be put on it. So you getting ready to buy value. You getting ready to buy somebody. So you getting ready to buy value. You getting ready to buy somebody. So you getting ready to buy value. You getting ready to buy somebody.
That's what it's all about. Guns and butter, baby. You little dumb motherfuckers.
Already. Right out the package.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. This pimping that I got in my blood, it came from a family tree. My granddaddy was a pimp. My great-great-great-granddaddy was a pimp. I'm talking about pimping since pimping. It's in your bloodline. It's in my blood, and you will never be that.
We or an angel from heaven, but though we or an angel of heaven. I happen to believe that a lot of these people that are masquerading as pastors, as leaders, as church leaders, as congregations, as compound leaders, as community fellowship leaders, a lot of them are operating under some diabolical spirits, man. Diabolical spirits, man. And you have to be truly, truly careful in these times because people are asleep. And because people are at a point where they're just not thinking properly. They're not thinking properly. We're seeing the same things repeated. We're seeing the same anatomy of cult leaders repeated. We're seeing their brainwashing happening. You know, the crazy part is that this piece of land where this happened to Bryson Muir, according to some reports, it cost over $2 million. And guess who the owner of it is now? The foundation of Pastor Dowell. Goes to show you there. While one man is in prison, all of their property belongs to Pastor Dowell.
Wow.
Everything belongs to Pastor Dowell and the foundation of Pastor Dowell. But hey, you get some Cinemax, you get $300 a week for alcohol.
So I was saying we have a $300 a week budget for alcohol. So, but with that, we're only allowed to drink 4 days out of the week. We're oppressed, aren't we?
I didn't say that. Y'all said it. When a ministry is willing to give you $300 a week for alcohol, but only $50 allowance for you to live with your family, and you find that.
But can you be upset about this? Can we be mad about this? These people are loving it there. They're loving it. They're loving this whole thing, this whole scenario, the whole setup. They're giving it willingly. They're doing it on their own merit. Honestly, nobody's forcing them to. Nobody's putting a gun to their head. You understand what I'm saying? The manipulation is real, but they refuse to actually see it. Can you be mad? I can't be. I can't hold anything against him for pimping his hoes how he like to pimp them.
My hoes. Why y'all fucking me about me? I'm asking my hoes. I'm saying, say, man, y'all fuck with Pastor. This is my flock. These are my sheep. Nigga, what y'all bother? Nigga, I can do what I want with my sheep. They serve up under my voice. I'm their leader. And they pick me as their leader. So, nigga, I can pimp on them how I want to pimp on them. Need my hoes.
Yeah. I mean, how could you be mad at that? How could you be upset with that? Now they making videos out here talking about some monitoring spirits and all this other bullshit. You know, you got fat boys who like to preach. And my thing is this, right? Is that whenever somebody is really holding someone accountable for some of their actions, right? Because we are obligated to, you know, if you're a pastor, a so-called leader within a congregation, you should be held to a higher merit. Is that not true? Is it not true that you should be held to a higher standard? That your condemnation is greater? Is that not true? That means that you must answer to a lot of things that you may be doing wrong. And if David himself can commit adultery, and that was a man after Yah's own heart, what makes you think that you are somebody who's above sin? What makes you think that you do everything right and you cannot accept or receive accountability or hear that accountability from mere mortal, meticulous, mechanical men? That's what I really want to know. I really want to understand that. If we can provide some understanding for that, that would be very nice. You know, I just want to know, really.
Hey, boy, am I talking too fast for you or something?
I think I slowed it down enough. I think I'm slowing it down enough to be understood. Let's continue this video. Let's continue.
Biblical? I'm sorry. There's something diabolical happening here. If you have family members at Straitway, urge them to leave. If you're thinking of even opening up a community and signing up with Straitway, pray about it and leave and run as fast as you can. You know, Proverbs 13:22 speaks about leaving an inheritance for our children. What inheritance can you leave for your children when all of it is signed over to Pastor Dowell? You see, Pastor Dowell wants to be an Israelite when it's convenient to him. But when it comes to community living, then he cherry picks the New Testament. That's the problem with all of this stuff, the cherry picking back and forth. It's diabolical in nature. It's not of God. And I want you to know that if you need any help, if you need anything like that, if you need any prayer, if you need to talk to someone, we're here to help you, you know? We're here to help you. Whether it be on Zoom, we can talk through Zoom, we can talk things out. Just do whatever you got to do to run from these type of compounds. You know, they don't have a patent on you living according to the scriptures and statutes and commandments. They act like they're the only ones. No, they're not. They're not. You have the scriptures in front of you. You have the Holy Spirit, which is your teacher, and he will guide you into all truth. He will guide your family into all truth. I know that community living in these times is something that seems very much like something that we would all want to be a part of. The problem is that the hearts of a lot of people aren't in the right place. If you truly want to be at a point that you want to set up a community with different people, look for some land as an example. Make sure that the plots are divided, that your land is in your name and in your children's name and in your family's name, okay? Because the one thing that I can tell you for sure is that a lot of people operate under the scriptures when it's convenient to them. But when it comes down to really the nitty gritty, the really details of things, a lot of people are not operating in the statutes and the commandments of the Most High. And it's a sad thing to see. And I'm not coming to you as if I'm the one living that way. No, listen, this is a daily battle that we all have to live for him. Otherwise, we fall prey to cult leaders like this. And he's a victim himself of a cult leader like that. And that gentleman himself learned from someone else as well. These are the same entities that were in him are in him. They are just the puppets. They think.
Come on now. And those times have really been come to an end. I think that the most information has been put out here in the recent years has really shut down this opportunity for a lot of people to become some of these cult leaders that you see that was sprung up back in the 1970s, 1980s, and the 1990s. Now they're really being exposed. There's a different style of cult leaders now. They're called influencers. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying all influencers. I'm saying the ones who are looking to manipulate the minds of the masses to get them to do the things that they should not and ought not to do in religious forms, packaged in a religious way. You understand what I'm saying? Controlling their minds and getting them to do things. This is what you see with a Pastor Dowell, an influencer, somebody who's hitting social media while discouraging you and putting you down, belittling you for talking about him openly on social media, the same platform that he talks about everybody else is on. You understand what I'm saying? It has been doing so for over a decade. But when people are bringing you and holding your feet to the fire, Dowell, and the rest of your cronies, all of a sudden now it's for clout. All of a sudden now they chasing a bag. All of a sudden now they just want some attention. All of a sudden now it's a real problem. But whenever you go after anybody on this platform, in social media, there's nothing wrong with you doing it. This is the reason why it's a key point as to why this is a demonic narcissist. Everything applies for everybody around him except for him. He's the only one the rules don't apply to. I really want to understand that more. You understand what I'm saying? How is it that you can talk about others? You can go after Geno Jennings trying to increase your following, using his name for clout, trying to debate him, won't stop, won't quit, constantly, day after day. For days, you were sitting there calling him out, calling him all kind of names. Then backdoor say that he's the man of Yah. Y'all know we've had our problems, had our issues. No, you've had the problems. You've had the issues. He's been minding his goddamn business. You understand what I'm saying? He's been going about whatever he's been doing, and he's been ignoring the hell out of you since the last time he addressed it. That was the last time he talked about it. You're the only one who's still stuck on him for weeks, trying to increase and gain more of a following, trying to hearken yourself on more men with itching ears, trying to hear what they want to hear, whatever you want them to hear. This is the Worship Podcast, y'all. I really appreciate you guys joining me here today. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Listen, don't forget to like this video, comment, and subscribe. Listen, share this with anybody who may benefit from hearing this message, right? There's been so many people coming out lately saying that, hey, we've been following Straitway. And since yourself here at the Worship Podcast, Pastor Rufus has a message sent, and many more have been making videos on this particular topic, we have made a decision to stick with the Most High Yah, to stick with Yahshua, to stick with the Holy Spirit that guides us instead of going up under this cult leader, just trying to seek the truth, right? Share it so we can be able to continue to do that for more individuals. We need to learn to be able to walk and strengthen our own salvific walk, right? Alone. So that way we may be a more of a benefit to the body of Messiah, more of a benefit. So we'll be stronger for those around us, right? Really appreciate you guys joining me here today. Listen, come join me on first day. Flock with me on the first day. You understand what I'm saying? We're going to unpack more of the Daniel Muir case. You understand what I'm saying? We're going to see what they got going on. I believe he got court this February, or this Friday. So we're going to see what information has been put out. I'm also going to be submitting a FOIA request, or a Freedom of Information Act request, for documents on this particular case, and we'll see if we can do an open read and see what's really going on, what they're truly charging them with, and what they're truly bringing. Okay. This is your host, Barack. I appreciate you joining me. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace and shalom.